In fact, I will not take even 40 minutes. Whatever time is lost, so other speakers can be compensated. So I will take much less time than that. The topic of the title of my presentation is, as has been given, proscribed literature and Bhagat Singh. Now, during freedom struggle, there have been many books, journals, poems, literature, etc. had been proscribed. And even among many of the freedom fighters, their writings or writings about them have also been, proscribed. I think out of all the freedom fighters, writings on Bhagat Singh had been proscribed to the maximum number. Dr. Gurudev Singh Sidhu, one of our old and senior scholars, they had series on Bhagat Singh, hanging of Bhagat Singh, giving the title. And one of the volume was proscribed literature on Bhagat Singh. If I remember correctly, because when I was consulting that series, that had been edited by Malvinderji Singh Wadaj and Dr. Gurudev Singh. In that series, there is proceedings of Bhagat Singh's two trials, Lahore conspiracy case and Delhi conspiracy case, Delhi Assembly bomb count case, and also even the evidences have been produced. But one of the volume was proscribed literature. It came out around 2007-8, and by that time, if I remember, he has listed about 125 proscribed list of proscribed writings on Bhagat Singh, or nearly 125. That time also, I think it was the highest among even Gandhi's, Nehru's writings or writings upon them, had not been proscribed in that numbers. But lately, he is coming out with the new edition of proscribed literature on Bhagat Singh. It's, in the process, and now he has given the title of his new book, Martyr, Voices and the Raj, proscribed publications on Bhagat Singh. Now, in this planned book, it will be coming out in the next few months, he has listed 208 publications which were proscribed during British rule on Bhagat Singh. He has divided actually these 208 writings. These 208 writings which were proscribed, they are in 10 Indian languages along with English. He has put it like that, 10 English languages along with English. Now, what are the Indian languages? I think I can, share with you. Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannadis, Marathi, Punjabi, and Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, and Urdu. Understandably, maximum writings had been proscribed in Hindi, but surprisingly, the second largest proscription seems to be in Tamil and also Urdu. that is very interesting about Tamil. His sources have been National Archive of India, Tamil Nadu State Archives, UP State Archives, 3-4 state archives he has consulted. As far as writings which were proscribed, that include poems, writings, essays, books. You will be surprised to know one interesting fact. Jitindranath Sanyal, who was acquitted in the main Lahore conspiracy case in which Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru were hanged, he was acquitted. But he started writing biography of Bhagat Singh immediately after the hanging. And it was published from Allahabad in 1931 itself, maybe August, September. Same biography in Hindi translation was being carried by Bhavishya. Bhavishya was a Hindi fortnightly or weekly from Allahabad, which was edited by Bhagat Singh. Originally he was from Lahore, but he was bringing out journals from Allahabad. And he is the same editor which is known for his much known collection, that is Chand Ka Fansi Ank. The Chand Ka Fansi Ank, which was a special issue in November 1928. Its guest editor was Acharya Chatursen Shastri. Now, he was serializing,
excuse me, please turn it off.
Yeah, he was, carrying out, he was serializing by installments Bhagat Singh's biography. Now, that biography, I think I had consulted those issues. He has carried about 5 to 6 installments. Then, not only English book form biography was proscribed, even Bhavishya, who was serializing this, they were prosecuted. Even Bhagat Singh was prosecuted. He was fined many thousand rupees. I think he was convicted for 6 months also. And Jitindranath Sanyal, who was acquitted, he was convicted to 2-year imprisonment. And it's a kind of ironical situation that in the main conspiracy case, he gets acquitted, and by just writing biography, I have read that biography. Many of you also might have seen that. It was reprinted only in 1946, 15 years after, when the provisional government under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru was formed. So only then it was then published by Vishwa Bharati, Nagpur. Now its editions are available in with many publishers, and it's available on net in free PDF also. I have got that PDF. It's a good biography. It's a good biography, authentic biography, because he was part of the revolutionary group, and he has the authentic kind of thing. So this is, I am just giving one example. But then Gurudev Singh Sidhu edited 2 volumes of these proscribed literature. One was published by Punjabi University, Patiala, in Punjabi. Its name was Singh Gardana, the roar of the lion, Singh Gardana. And another, which was the title of a poem also, was published by National Book Trust, that is Fansi Lahore. So he has, even, in fact, interestingly, he collected, actually I have gifted all my books for creating Bhagat Singh Archive and Resource Center in Delhi archives under Delhi government. That is close to JNU, close to the east gate of JNU. So inside Delhi archives, there is one section now, Bhagat Singh Archive and Resource Center. So all my collection I have gifted there. So all the books are there only. So, but then he edited even one volume in Marathi also, which he has included in his book, the proscribed books. That is Bhagat Singh ke Povade. Povade is a folk form of Marathi poetry or folk songs. So there have been 3 Povadas on Bhagat Singh, which were proscribed. Now, he actually published even those through NBT. So he divided into 2 sections. The proscribed literature, he divided into 2 sections. About 66 publications, or maybe 3 more, 66 plus 3 are those publications which, along with proscription notification, some briefing in English was given on those proscribed writings for Britishers' own, need, for their intelligence need or for their administrative needs. So they had given brief 1 or 2 paragraphs kind of brief what these proscribed writing contains. But there are about 139 such writings, 139, if I am correct, I have correctly noted from his, manuscript, which were proscribed, but without any briefing in English language. They're just notification of those 139 writings from different Indian languages, and maybe some of them were in English also. Since English writings do not need any English briefing, so that apart, but most of those 133 probably, 6 were in English, or they are without any briefing in English. Then again, there were certain writings which were not proscribed, but which were considered to be objectionable. There was no formal proscription of those writings, but a sort of administrative notifications that these are objectionable writings. Now, in those objectionable writings, there were about 24 writings which were not proscribed, but which were thought objectionable. So that way, you see, then again, extract of newspapers. That's very interesting, Extract of newspaper. These things he had given in the annexures as supplement of various state governments. So how state governments have used, this law to, ban, or Bombay government 6, Bengal government 28 out of these, proscriptions. Bihar, Odisha, that time Bihar, Odisha was probably 1 unit, 1. Punjab, 15. Now, this is how, state governments have been using the law to proscribe, publications. Now, state-wise list of notifications of prose. So, at the end, he has given alphabetically list of all those writings. Now, one more thing I think I will mention and then I will stop, that what were the acts under which these proscriptions took place. Now, acts were Section 99A of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1898 as amended by the Press Law Repeal and Amendment Act 1922. Then Code of Criminal Procedure 3rd Amendment Act 1926. Criminal Law Amendment Act 1927. Then declaring under these acts that publication is punishable under Section 124A of the Indian Penal Code, as it tends to promote hatred and disaffection towards the government established by law in British India. When a British government used to think that they are lawfully ruling India. Well, we think it was a colonial power and we think it was illegal power. But then they thought that we are legally ruling India. Now, this, again, very interesting. Then again, some proscription took place under Section 153 of Indian Penal Code. Later, when the Press Act was amended, some other publications were proscribed, exercising powers conferred by Section 19 of the Indian Press Emergency Powers Act 1931, number 23 of 1931. As these publications contain matter of nature described in subsection 1, clause B of section 4 of the Act. These powers were exercised unsparingly by almost all local governments. As I have mentioned, how Bengal, Punjab, etc. Bengal proscribed maximum 28 or something. So state governments as well as central government level, this is how books, journals, etc. are being proscribed. Interestingly, 124A and 153 causing disaffection, etc. These British colonial laws continue to be in the statute of post-47 independent India, and these oppressive, repressive laws, colonial laws, continue to be on statute books of not only India, of Pakistan as well as Bangladesh. One thing, whatever they might be quarreling, fighting among each other, on the colonial laws, all three governments are one. Pakistan government has worsened the 153A, in which, the so-called, they have introduced death sentence. And interestingly, there are sections in India, religious fundamentalist sections, who are also demanding to make India a Pakistan by creating death sentence under section 153A. That's how the times in which we are living. But this it's a very ironical situation. It's a very tragic, rather tragic and ironical both, that all the colonial laws against which we are celebrating the azadikaamritmahotsav, 75 years, but not only we are continuing with those colonial laws, but the repression on people, oppression on people in some matters is even more than colonial times. Colonial times there was no lynching. Now even lynchings are taking place. So we are living in very ironical times where we are celebrating independence, liberty from colonial rules, and at the same time we are using those very colonial laws to oppress, suppress in much worse form today. I think we should think about it, that all these laws, 124A, 295, 153A, India will be really celebrating its azadi when these all colonial oppressive laws will be thrown into sea and India becomes really free after that. The British government has abolished much earlier the Sedition Act.
Right.
124A. Yeah, you want me to conclude?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I am concluding. That's what I'm saying. That British government has itself abolished, the colonial government in its own country has much earlier abolished the sedition law. Sedition law during British times, as I have read, was against British government. Now, sedition law cannot be used against the government. In a democracy, getting against the government is a democratic right of the people. So why should be sedition used against those students, against those employees, against those farmers who are fighting against the government or opposing the government on certain policies, on certain laws? So I think we should learn from, the colonial history of repression and should not repeat that oppression or repression on people in today's time. Thank you so much.